Hello, everybody. Welcome to More Joy Media and our presentation of Be Encouraged. And we have a dynamic, supreme, awesome guest today. Can't wait to have him. You just saw the little picture. There he is, Chip Baker. I tried to pick a little conglomeration of some of his pictures, so you kind of get an idea, at least visually, what kind of man he is. I love that shirt in the upper right corner. Go get it. And you can buy those on. We'll talk about that. You can probably get your own nice hat too. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Chip Baker. Chip, how are you, sir?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Man,
Let's
I
go.
saw that man. That's good stuff you got there.
You like
I love
that?
it. Thank you.
Yeah. I was, if I'd had a little bit more time, we could have done some fancy stuff with it and thrown it in there. And I
Yes,
had plenty of
sir.
time, but I just, that's how it goes. For me, and that's one of the reasons why I love having you on today to talk a little bit about how do you focus to be successful? How do you keep on track? Because I
Yeah.
get off track so easily. I mean, I let things distract me. I mean,
Mhm.
not just that I'm ADHD. That's fine. I mean, I've learned to deal with that over my life, so I
Uh-huh.
can focus when I need to. But but it's still there's something that draws me away from what I should be doing,
Right.
and instead of helping myself to stay focused. And anyway, so that's what I want to. I mean, first of all, let's introduce you.
Yes,
Okay, let's
sir.
talk
Yes,
about
sir.
Chip Baker. Chip Baker, where grew up with some down home church folk. Right? You said that in your biography, a little thing at the front of
Yeah,
your book.
folk. No
And the
S.
folk, no S, no. I know I have folk too. There's the book. I
Yes,
usually keep it
sir.
right behind me, up next to right behind. See where that blank space is? That's where it
Yes.
usually sits.
That's awesome.
But here's the book, and it says here, written by Chip Baker, and then at the bottom it says, co-authored by 16 powerful influencers. And I was going to ask you
Yes.
that on the way this morning here to work. I thought to myself, he's the author, but he's got a bunch of other authors. So the co-authoring makes total sense. But you put it
Yes.
all together. What made you think to do this?
Well, I mean, just opportunities, and opportunities bring opportunities. So I have a YouTube channel, podcast, Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles.
Yes.
Started almost 5 years ago, and I have a friend that does publishing. He reached out to me. He was like, man, you're connected with some great people. You ever thought about bringing some of those people together in a book? And I was like, that's a good idea. And
Yeah.
so, I thought about people that, that I've been blessed to come in contact with that have inspired and motivated me. And I just brought those men together, and they're all powerful guys doing great things, give with a pure heart. And so I'm blessed and fortunate to know them. And it's been a cool journey to be co-authored together with that project.
Indeed. One of our mutual friend,
Yes.
the guy who I have on here on Tuesday mornings, is Derek Pearson, and he's just,
DP.
I call him Coach DP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach. Most everybody I think just know him as Coach,
Yes.
and I'm blessed and privileged to have several kids in this world who don't know my name except for Coach. They got, hey
Isn't that an
Coach, they don't
amazing
know any
title?
idea. They're like going, oh, Lee, your name's Lee? I didn't know your name was Lee, that kind of thing. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with whether or not it's Coach or Lee or hey big
Yeah.
dummy, whatever you want to call me to get my attention. I'm happy that you're calling me for my attention. You know what I mean? So, but you decided to do this with these men, and these men are all from different walks of life,
Yeah.
but all influencers in their own right.
Yes, sir.
And so you put this first book together. It was pretty successful, in so much it was successful enough that there's a number 2 coming. Tell me about that a little bit.
Boom. Yes.
Boom, drop the mic.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. You know, that first run, when we first dropped at the launch, we hit number 1 in 11 categories on Amazon. So Amazon bestseller. It's been cool. Several teams, corporations are using it for book studies, you know, to learn leadership strategies. It's been great. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, let's do it again. And so, volume 2, we're gonna drop that here in a couple months. It's about half of the same guys, half new guys, but it'll be 19 men in this one. And the same thing, just sharing our stories of, you know, a person or something that has influenced us in a manner that's impacted us, what we learned from it, and then how we're using that to be a blessing in our world today.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, I can't wait to get my hands on that one too. This one I got is inscribed by the author, at least a couple of authors actually.
Yes, sir.
So I'm so happy and blessed that I got a little signed copy.
Yes,
from
sir.
Chip
Thank you
Bakery
so
and
much for
Derek-
your support.
Oh, there's no question. That's why it's right behind me. And as you
Yeah.
can see that blank space, that means you're front and center. That book is
I
front and
love it.
center every broadcast we do here
I
at
love it.
More Joy. So, and people ask, what's that book? Impact what? What's that book?
I
And
love
I'm
it.
like, dude, I'll tell you all about that book. It's fantastic. It's got authors with talking about, and that's for me most important. And I think for a lot of people who are not necessarily readers, you know, but they like to read about real things. They like to read about people who have had the same
Yes.
walk that they've had, or at least they
Yes.
can identify with the walk that a lot of these I can identify with parts of a lot of these guys' walks, and I'm just blessed that I haven't had to walk some of the things they've walked, you know, and I think that all the time. You know, I have another author who I promote his stuff to, who's also been a contributor here on the show. His name is Clark Crawford,
Mhm.
and you know, he was in prison. I mean, he was
Yeah.
a bad dude when he was a young guy and got in a lot of trouble, and was just. But he's a preacher. I mean, he goes
Awesome.
around and he's getting ready to do a revival in Georgia. Man, he's excited about
awesome.
it. But he's such a down to earth, super neat guy. You know, we laugh on the show. It's not like he's all serious. Let's talk about God. You know, we're giggling our butts off about it. And, you know, that's the real God anyway, you know, you know, there's lots of humor there. If we got humor, guess where it came from? So,
Yes, sir.
But your book and Impact of Influence, what other books have you scribed?
So,
You've written a couple other ones, right?
Yeah, so this the Impact of Influence Volume 1 was my 6th book. So
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, so Growing Through Your Go Through was my first one. Second one was The Effective Conversation to Ignite Relationships. Third one was a compilation book that I was a part of from a group out of New York, Suited for Success, Volume 2. Fourth one is The Formula Chart for Life. Fifth one is, and it's crazy because I started the 5th one as The Impact of Influence, Volume 1, and then during the time of that, you know, I was blessed with an opportunity to partner with Fellowship of Christian Athletes and do a resource book, for them called Rock Solid. And so that's the 6th book. Impact of Influence was 5th, and then the 6th book.
So what was Rock Solid? That's one of the other books that I'm interested in. I'm gonna have to get me that copy. It looks very interesting. Tell me about Rock Solid.
Yeah, so what it is you know, rock stands for something, resource on connecting the kingdom. And so, you know, faith-based, there's 12 faith-based lessons in there. And really we wanted to target, you know, those people that teach faith-based lessons, you know, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, you know, teaching kids based on sports, coaches, you know, huddle leaders, you know, those kind of people, youth organization people. And so we just put it's 12 lessons in there that you can use to teach those people about connecting the kingdom. Practical things used with verses and stories that you can use as a resource.
I saw also in your that you had on Success Chronicles, you had on Carl Lewis.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What a great
Oh
guy.
my gosh.
What a man. I mean,
I'll have to tell you that
truly.
story sometime.
Well, I would love to hear that story sometime. I was wondering if you ever tried to reach out to have Tim Tebow on Success Chronicles with you.
I haven't, but I would love to have.
Wouldn't it be
Tim
great to have him
Tebow.
on?
Oh
He's
my
such a neat
gosh.
guy. He's just so late, so cool. He's just because God is him. I mean,
Yeah.
he lets himself be completely immersed, and he speaks. That's my goal in life, is to just let go, right? And let God speak through me, and because I've been able to do it in the past. And what happens is you say something to someone, and then they come back at you and say, like, dude, what made you think to say that to me earlier? Because that hit me hard, and it hit me good. And I'm like, what did I say? I don't even know, honest to goodness. I don't know. What was it I said? I need to know. I want to know too, because that's exactly how it goes sometimes for me. I'll say something. I just, I had that encouraging spirit. I'll say something to somebody. Hey, listen, you're doing whatever it is. And then I don't even remember what it was that I said to them. God, that's awesome stuff. But that's why, we started doing More Joy, because we want to bring more joy to the world. There's too much strife going on.
So good.
We got to pray for Afghanistan. That people there are just really suffering, and there's just a regime of evil going on in there, and we just got to get ourselves set up to be on top of that. And that's part of being success. Tell me how faith how does faith parallel success, Chip?
Well, I think for me, faith is the foundation, and just like, when you envision a house, with the foundation, if you don't have a firm foundation, you can't build the house on a solid ground. Right? I mean, you can build it, but it's not going to last very long.
Yeah, you build it on that's a biblical thing, and you can build it on the sand. You can build this beautiful thing on the sand.
Yeah.
My phone's ringing, and it shouldn't be. It's one of my doctors calling me, but it's okay. Let me turn her off here. Okay.
Yeah, but faith is the foundation.
Yes.
And so, I think, the same thing. Faith is the foundation for success. And I think when you can operate in those principles, yes, saying things, but more so by what you do, by action, because actions speak louder than words. And so it's important to move about it with faith-based principles to allow you to have success.
Yeah. So what about so what I was just going to say about success is success. Being rich doesn't mean you're successful.
Yes, sir.
And being successful doesn't mean you're rich. What do you think is the important difference between the two? This person will not let up. I'm telling you, this drives me nuts.
Well, I think that I don't know, when I heard you say that, the first thing that came to mind for me is relationships. And I think when you are rich in relationships, quality relationships, it allows you to be successful, because it gives you that continued growth that you need. So whatever situation that you're in, you're always going to have somebody to help you, look out for you, be real with you, put you in position.
That's the people you need, right?
Yeah, to achieve the thing that you need to achieve
in
your life. And so none of that I said was pertaining to money, right? It's about quality relationships. And the reason we're here on this interview is because of quality relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And our relationship, my relationship with Derek, your relationship with Derek, I mean, all those, it's intertwined beautifully. And and it's all providential. People talk about destiny. I don't believe in destiny. I believe in providence, and that means God ordered. And if you look that up in the dictionary, y'all look up providence, and first you'll find Rhode Island, Providence. but then you'll but then you'll find the definition is God ordered, and I so prefer. And I was turned on to that, by the way, by the lady who married us, my wife and I. I said, I think she's my destiny. She goes, no, she's not, Lee. She's your providence. And I said, what? She's God ordered. She is God ordered into your life. And I was like, wow, man, that's just a heavy, heavy thing. And I love to change the world. The words are so important, and they're used by both sides of the aisle to manipulate and or to encourage. I don't want to be manipulated. I want to be encouraged,
Yes, sir.
And that's exactly what I try to do too. I don't want to manipulate people. I want to encourage them. And oftentimes they feel like I'm manipulating, but I'm definitely just trying to help them push themselves to go get it. Right. So we're going to talk about how to get that hat later on. My advice that I've given to myself, and that's the first person that I need to give the advice to, is that you have to just stay steady. You have to listen. You have to be careful about what you're hearing and about the kind of words that you use, because the first one is providence and destiny. The difference between providence trumps destiny in a minute. The other one is people say power. And I don't like power anymore. I like authority. Authority trumps power. Authority, because that's what Jesus came with, authority over everything. And the devil sure hell didn't like that. He didn't like the fact that and neither did the Jews in the Sanhedrin and stuff. They did not like that Jesus was the authority, and everyone knew it. Anyone that met him knew that he was the authority.
Yes.
More so than the older guys with we've been studying the Quran, the Torah for, whatever. And they're like going, and he came and said, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing.
Hey, Lee, I love your accents, brother.
Thank you. I want to do a movie with Jesus, about Jesus, but from a really little bit more of a swag. I want him to have more of a swag,
There you go.
Like looking at people like when he sat down with Pontius Pilate, and Pontius Pilate said something to him, and he said, I ain't afraid of you.
Yeah.
I could call up right now and we come down here and wipe everybody out. That's not a problem.
You can title it.
That's not providence. That's not God's plan.
Yeah. You can title it Jesus is my homie.
Huh?
You can title it Jesus is my homie.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. No doubt about that. That would be an awesome thing. We got a couple people who are chiming in and watching the show. Awesome. Michelle Ann Cruz and several other people, Mary Ellen Otter. I want to just say hello to them real quick. Meg Nolan Southern is we'd like anybody who watches to hit the like button, so we know you've been watching, and we know you're one of our encouragements too as well. We're starting to wrap down the time, but Chip, I want to know from you, what are your next steps? What is I know you're gonna be promoting your book, but now the Success Chronicles, did you have that as a book form at first, or has it all been video?
It's all been video. So the video form is on the YouTube channel, and audio is the podcast. So it's all Chip Baker, the Success Chronicles.
And how do people get to see or hear those things?
Yeah. So all of my social media is at Chip Baker TSC, as in the Success Chronicles. And I'm on all of the platforms. I don't want to be any excuse for you not to get this positive inspiration and motivation.
Exactly. Right? I think you and I got together with the Success Chronicles too. Is that going to make it, or was I big slow?
No. You're definitely going to make it, brother. It was great. Let me tell you.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. I can't wait to see that and see how you put that together. See, that's why I do this live, man. I mean, all that post-production is for the birds, as far as I'm concerned. I'm happy to do pre-production stuff, and like putting together little collages with my man Chip Baker right there. See that hat, folks? Go get it.
Go get it.
And a t-shirt over there. Go get it. I like it. We're going to have to definitely. So how does somebody go get it apparel?
So on my social media, which is Chip Baker TSC, I have my online website, my
Mm-hmm.
online site, and so you just go there, books, resources,
Yes, the
um,
books are awesome.
merch,
Yeah. I
hats, shirts.
one of the things I've seen you doing on following you on Facebook or Instagram or whichever one I'm following you, and I always forget. I never know. I just kind of look at things and I see Chip and I go, "Oh, what's he doing?" Same with Derek. And Derek just
Yeah.
got back from seeing Prince's whole thing in Minneapolis. I can't
Mhm.
wait to talk to him about that. But my question to you is, if I can remember what it was, let's see what. Oh yeah, you going around and you hitting high schools and talking to coaches and giving them. And are you? Is that what is the deal? What was the deal with that little tour you were doing?
So really, it's just opportunity based, like I said, based off relationships. People know my experience. I've coached for 20 years. I'm in education. I just started my 23rd year in teaching.
Mm,
So that's my field. So I've been speaking to coaches, speaking to kids. To start the school year, a lot of those things come up because you want to set the tone the right way. And
exactly.
so some of those things, blessed and fortunate to speak. I think the latest one you saw was Spring ISD. I spoke at
Uh-huh.
their coaches convocation. I
Yeah,
talked about some qualities about coaches and some of
that's cool. And I'm sure you're we're getting a little bit of a glitch in
enough
our stream.
positivity around kids and people
Yeah.
that work with kids.
Yeah, and it's so important because people don't realize that sometimes sadly,
Yeah,
the only influence of a positive nature on kids is their coaches and their
right.
teachers. Which I've worked in a high school as a security person, so I work the halls and talk to the
Yeah,
kids, and and I'm out there. I'm not one of those security guards that just walks around with a grumpy look on his face all
yeah,
day long.
yeah.
You know, I look at people and say, "What's up?"
That's
And
it.
they just think he's a security guard. He said, "What's up?"
He's a
I like to
different guy.
shock him. I'm a to- ain't
Yeah, he's a
nothing. There ain't
he's a
nobody
different
like
guy.
me, Chip. Um, you know, I've yet to meet anybody. I don't know if I'd like them or not. If they're like,
Oh man,
you know what they
let's
say,
go.
people who just like you're like going, you find
Who
all their
don't
little
like me?
faults and you
Yep.
go, hey, I don't know if I like you. But I have to be careful about that. Anyway, so hitting all those, and when you did the FCA stuff, because I'm fairly familiar with FCA, we had
Uh-huh.
a program at both schools that I worked at, and I came in, I would come and sit in with them, and then sometimes they'd be playing up there, somebody be playing the guitar, be singing
Yeah.
something, which is
Yes, sir.
that's my jam. I like to sing praise
Yeah.
music and stuff like that. So I would join in, and these kids be like,
Blow you away.
"What, Mr.
Yeah.
Bailey can sing?" It's like, dude, if I'm singing praises, I can sing. Anybody can. I don't care who you are. If you're
Yeah.
singing praises, it's going to come out okay as far as that's concerned. Maybe not for our ears, but God's ears are
That's
much
it.
more forgiving.
And then depending on the venue, who you are too. Like me, like you're very good singer. But like me, I sing very good in the car or in the shower. But
That's
any other
okay.
place, it's okay.
Last night I pulled up in front of my house and turned on a couple songs
Yeah.
and just sat there and was, had the good cry, and just
Yeah.
listened to some worship songs
Yes,
that got
sir.
me through my ordeal that I've had in the last couple of years. Those songs through I had a double lung transplant,
Mhm.
and to get me through that, there were so many songs about, you breathe through me, and it's like
Yes.
I never heard that song before, but I've sung it before. I just never paid attention
Yeah.
to the application of the breathing, and how he's the breath in our lungs and he's the breath in our souls, and
Yeah.
it's just I just sit there and just say thank you God, that's good stuff.
Yes.
And my wife texts, "What are you doing out there?" I said, "I just listen to music, man.
Yep.
I
Just
can crank
jamming.
it up in my car, I can sing along with it,
Just jamming.
and
Feeling it.
if I came inside and tried to sing, and you all be going, shut that off, turn that off, quit it, stop it. My daughter, especially, my 16-year-old, be like going, Dad. And yet she sings all day long in the house, running around singing everywhere. And I'm like, but I'm not allowed to say no nothing to her. But if I start singing, she'll let me know. She'll let me know. Don't want to hear that, lad. So next steps as I asked before, and you kind of alluded to it, but I know you probably got 8 other things going on. Tell me a little bit more about, besides promoting the new book,
Right.
and that's going to drop when? September?
So yes, the Impact of Influence Volume 2 will drop in that mid-September, September 16th.
Okay.
And so looking forward to that. That's going to be amazing. Kind of eyeballing the COVID numbers and all of those things, but kind of once we kind of get through some of that stuff, we'll be doing a tour for that, and have some speaking stuff coming up off of that as well.
That's good. Anything in my area, Northern Virginia?
Yes, for
Oh,
sure. We'll be back that way. We'll
good.
probably be at the University of Maryland.
Oh, nice.
Be there for that part.
Well,
So
we'd
one of
love
the
to have you
authors,
back on right ahead of time of that, so we
Yeah.
can promote that
awesome.
and get people on. That would be great. That would be so awesome to have you back on. Chip, you are truly just a great guy, man. I appreciate having you come on. I appreciate you're willing to do that and have the time to do that. I know you're a busy guy promoting stuff. Now, are you actively teaching in the classroom?
Yes, so
Wow.
I am a teacher now. I am the climate and culture coach on my campus at Oak Ridge High School in Conroe, Texas. And so
The climate and culture
coach.
That's amazing.
Oh man, it's great. I mean, like, I don't know, you see
know,
that smile. I was trying to
yeah.
hold it back, but it's the smile.
That's
came
my
out.
job. I mean, that's my jam too. I should be doing that job.
Right?
And because, that's exactly kind of that's one of the reasons why my principal that I had loved me so much, is that's kind of the position, even though I was security.
More
She
joy.
loved that it was just my interaction with kids.
Yes.
I remember one day a kid said something to me in the hall. This is one of those memories that I have. And it was a young lady who was pissed off about something. I don't know what she was mad about. She was mad about something. And I said, "Come back here." And she said, "No," like that. And I was like, and I didn't say anything at first, but as soon as she said it, Mrs. Benner, our principal, walked out into the hall and said, whoa. Excuse me? And then I thought she was going to get her to, come with me, whatever, for not doing what she's supposed to, listen to an adult. But she said, "I can't believe you just speak that way to Mr. Bailey. You know that he loves all you kids in this building. You know that. And to disrespect him like that." And I was like going, "All right. I'll take that." And the girl was like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Bailey," because I knew it wasn't me. That's why I wasn't upset. I knew she just had something going on.
Yeah.
And I was giving her as much leeway as I could. Of course, she was still going to obey me. I mean, she still had to fall in line,
Right.
because, we had to get her out of the hall. No one's supposed to be in the hall when there's no class change or nothing like that. And I didn't know why she wasn't in class, and I needed to talk to her. And that's why I called her over to me. And so I knew something was up, and that's how you have to understand that as a culture and climate coach.
Yes, sir.
Or a teacher. What a great title, and it just helps people understand what you're up to. I just try and make eye contact with every kid I pass in the hall.
Just
smile at them.
Just smile.
And because
that goes
what
a long
happens,
way.
it does. And when you do that, you definitely find the kids who are struggling, and the kids who
see it. You can see it on them.
You absolutely see it. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, and I'm not necessarily proud of this, but that I've stopped a kid in the hall and said, hey, what's going on? And they find out that their abuela died, or someone went to prison, that their uncle, or but something. Now, here's the other part, though, Chip, that I try to tell the teachers and tell everybody: I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not not trained to do that. I know about people, and I love them and all that kind of stuff, and I know how to talk to people. But I always would immediately say, okay, I need to introduce you to somebody. And because we had a really great psychologist at our school who was awesome dude. And they were like, well, I don't want to go to my counselor. It's important that you do. And that's also the skill, is to talk them into doing what you want them to do, like going to see the psychologist. Because when they're struggling with stuff now, mental health issues, You got to get them to a
Let's say
professional.
Yep.
And
Yes, sir.
I shouldn't say this, but the counselors aren't necessarily the professionals. They've got their degree in psychology, but they're not psychologists. You know what I'm saying? And you got a guy who's got his PhD in psychology. That's a guy who really knows how to work with, human relations and childhood, anyway, all that stuff. So there's my little piece for you to go. Is just always don't, I always tell these teachers, don't know how to deal with this. I mean, I know you think you do and you love, but love does not conquer all. You got to have the love there as a foundation, as you said before. The foundation is we love, but there's so much more involved in the mental health realm that professionals need to deal with it. And that's hard for me because I really feel like I can deal with it with God and everything like that. But really, in that setting, in the secular setting, you got to get them to the counselor right away. And anyway,
let them do their thing.
Man, we way past now. All of a sudden, we went way past our time. Thank you, Chip Baker. Honestly, God bless you. Thank you, man, for what you're doing. I love that title, Culture and Climate. Oh, I love it. Fairfax County needs to get that in their schools. They need to have a culture and climate coach in the school. I'm telling you,
everywhere.
What a great! And where are you located? What district? School district?
I am in Conroe, Texas, at Oak Ridge High School.
Oak Ridge High School. Okay,
and
that's
Conroe
the
Conroe ISD.
I'm gonna pass that along to a couple of my administrative friends here in Fairfax County and say, listen, dude, seriously, look that up. That sounds like such a great position to have.
You can give them my contact, and I'm actually working on some things to kind of help see how we do things. So I have some resources and that people can use, and
I'd love to, from my experience, and I'd love to talk with you more about how do you handle certain situations and give you a little bit of my input, which you may say, but I'd love to do that with you, Chip. I would just recommend so much to me, dude.
I would just recommend them WWMBD. What would Mr. Bailey do?
All right, my good friend. You take care of yourself. We'll see you, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you. And don't forget to check out Chip Baker's social media. Just Chip Baker TSC. You can go get yourself a Go Get It shirt and a Go Get It hat. I'm expecting mine in the mail here soon, Chip. Okay, just so you know.
Got you.
All right, brother. Love you. Take care, man. Peace out.
Go get it.